Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil.
Cruella, brand new Disney Plus and in theaters release. The film stars Emma Stone, Emma Thompson, Joel Fry, Paul Walter Hauser, and Mark Strong. It tells about the story about Estella, played by Emma Stone, who wants to be this big-time graphic designer while currently being a thief with her two friends, played by Joel Fry and Paul Walter Hauser, when she comes upon her mentor, played by Emma Thompson, who is the Baroness, who's basically the biggest graphic designer in the world, and some things go wrong in the story, and that is what the film is about. The film is PG-13. It is 2 hours and 14 minutes. Welcome. My name is Max. We're for a brand new movie review here on Max Talk. Today we're talking about the highly anticipated Cruella movie. Everyone's been talking about this movie since we got set photos seeing Emma Stone as Cruella. So before I get my non-spoiler review here of Cruella, please leave a like, guys. That is the best way to support this channel. Also, please comment down below your thoughts of this film. If you've seen it, let me know if you saw it on Disney Plus, if you paid that $30, or did you go see this in a movie theater, and let me know your non-spoiler thoughts of the film. If you have not, tell me, will you go see this in the theater or buy us on Disney Plus? Are you interested in the film? Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show. Let's get to my thoughts on Cruella. So I was not that excited for this movie, just because Disney live action adaptations can go sometimes pretty good and sometimes pretty awful. So you have to go into this movie with pretty much as blind as you can. I was pretty intrigued that Craig Gillespie, who's the director of this movie, he directed I, Tonya, a movie I really do think is severely underrated. And you have some really great talent on screen with Emma Stone, who in my opinion is one of, if not the possibly the best actress working today. You have Emma Thompson, a legend. Mark Strong is in there. He's in my opinion, one of the more underrated actors in Hollywood. You have Paul Walter Hauser, who usually is hilarious, and don't worry, he is hilarious in this movie. But I was excited that a lot of people were kind of comparing this to Disney's own Joker, the way of taking a villainous character and making that the main character and keeping it dark. Now, the reason why, again, I was cautious is because Maleficent was a character that I was excited to see done dark, and they kind of made Maleficent a hero in both her movies. I really do not like Maleficent 1 or 2, so that's why I kind of had some hesitation with the film. But this film is really much darker than I thought. Now, don't get me wrong, the film is hilarious. It was actually a lot more funny than I thought it would be. It was a lot funnier than I thought it would be. I mean, the movie is actually hilarious. I was laughing pretty much throughout the entire film. And there are some super dark moments for sure, but there's a lot of relief with the film. Now, obviously, we have to start with Emma Stone, who obviously will be compared to Glenn Close, Glenn Close is also producer of this film. Emma Stone's so good in this movie. She really is really good in the movie. She certainly is. She Glenn Close? People are going to compare. I'm not here to compare Glenn Close versus Emma Stone. I'm here to look at this movie as its own movie because it's very different from those two Glenn Close films. This is a totally different film that's setting up a totally different possible franchise. Emma Stone's really good in the movie. I think she's actually better as Estella than she is as Cruella in the movie, because she actually does a great job of balancing. You can see her being a thief, you can see her being this nice person, and then you can see her being Cruella. She shows off a lot of depth of range in the film. And that's why you bring in such a high caliber actresses like Glenn Close and Emma Stone to play this type of role, because this role needs, especially this movie, needs a lot of range. Emma Stone needs to be funny, quirky, dark, hilarious, and threatening as a villain. And I think she does all of those things really well. And I know a lot of people might not like it because she might not be Glenn Close for a lot of people, but you have to look at this. What the movie needs her to do, she exactly does, and does it really well. She's really entertaining on screen. I was going to get worried about her accent in the trailers. There's a voiceover that starts the film, and I was already in. I didn't really even think about that. She was not obviously British. It really did work throughout the film. Now, I do want to say, though, the best part of the entire movie and the best character, everyone was laughing every time this person was on screen, and that was Emma Thompson, who plays the Baroness, who is kind of the mentor to Emma Stone's character in the film. The biggest graphic designer in the world, and she has some tie-ins to her past that gets explored. Emma Thompson is the best part of this entire film. Every time she's on screen, my entire theater was laughing. I was laughing. She's a really entertaining presence. She is very over the top as this villain, but this villain asked an over the top performance. She gets to do a lot of fun things. A lot of people get to do some fun things for her. She's very demanding. She has some really funny jokes in the entire film. And in my opinion, every time she's on screen, the movie was so energetic. She was really good in the film. And also her dynamic with Stone was really good. These are two world-class actors who you can tell are world-class actors and having a ball together on screen. But their chemistry, you do buy their dynamic in the entire film. I don't want to spoil anything, but their dynamic is really well done in the movies. A few surprises with those two characters that I did not see coming. Some I did, but for the most part, I really was surprised with a lot of the decisions they made, especially with Emma Thompson's character and the idea of possibly a villain going up against another villain, for that being the movie. I actually did like that idea, and the Emma Thompson being on screen, she steals every scene that she is in. Also, the combination of Emma Stone's two basically henchmen, her best friends, Joel Fry and Paul Walter Hauser, are excellent in the film in their own unique ways. Paul Walter Hauser is hilarious in this movie, and Joel Fry provides a nice comic relief, but also some serious moments, some serious talks with Emma Stone and how he kind of doubts the way Emma Stone's going down this dark path. I did like that dynamic as well. Mark Strong's always going to be good in the movie. But I said this film is pretty dark. I saw the movie with my mom. I was kind of talking to her like, would kids like to see this? And it's a pretty dark movie. There's a lot of death now, a lot of death off screen. There's a lot of implied violence, a lot of implied death. That I'm not sure kids are going to enjoy this movie. I know there's a lot of scenes that if parents bring little kids to see this, they're not going to be happy with this movie, because the movie is, yes, it's funny. And I can see there's a lot of dogs movie, and that can maybe help, but it's a pretty dark, grim, at least second half of the movie. Really, the first 10 minutes is pretty dark, and the last 45 minutes of the movie is pretty dark as well. But which I like Disney doing. Disney definitely took a leap of faith here, going a totally different route than a lot of their other live action adaptations, one of their darker films in a long time. That's a Disney owned property, not a Marvel or Star Wars or anything like that. This is one of their darker properties. I think they got one of their better villains in years with Emma Thompson's character, one of the better villains I've seen in a Disney movie in a long time. And Emma Stone definitely came into her own she's such a good, as I said, one of the best actresses in Hollywood today. She was good in the movie. Let's talk about my negatives though with the movie. And for me, first of all, the runtime is way too long. The movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I think there's a good 10 to 15 minute chunk of the movie that could have easily been cut out of the movie. At times the film can drag, especially when it's trying to transition from the second act to the third act. It does kind of take a while to get to basically the heist part of the movie, because it really is a heist film in the last 25 minutes of the movie. But also the movie has, most of this movie is soundtrack pop songs, really just songs from the 70s. And it got really annoying that every scene basically had a 70s song played over it. And I'm a person who loves scores, and this movie should have relied more on a score than songs from the era to get us through things. You've heard of all these songs before, and at times it came a bit annoying and distracting of the movie, because there were just so many different types of songs from the 70s they were putting into the movie. And I think Cruella deserved a strong score to back up her character, but they went with the soundtrack part, which I was not a big fan of. There's also two major characters that we see become major characters in the film that are pretty much, you don't really feel them at all. The script needs them to be a major character, but they're not at all. Mark Strong is wasted in the movie. And if you think you're here for Mark Strong, you're not. Anyone could have played Mark Strong's character, which is the same, because as I said, he's one of the most underrated actor in Hollywood, in my opinion. He was really good in Shazam, my favorite part of the Kingsman films. So he was fine in the movie, but for me, his character was so one note. There's even a big he gets put into the story pretty majorly in the second act, and then they kind of forget about his character for a while. He's just there on the journey. There's also a character who is a photographer who takes pictures of all these graphic designers and their dresses and stuff. And she has a tie-in to Cruella's childhood. That didn't really make a lot of sense, and there was not given enough screen time to actually buy them as possible childhood friends. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But overall, guys, I am pleasantly surprised with this film. I really did enjoy myself. Again, not a perfect film, not the best Disney live action film we've gotten so far, but certainly top 3, top 5 at the worst for me is Disney live action films. Emma Stone's terrific in the film. Emma Thompson is spectacular in the film. It's a different Disney film. If it's not as kid friendly, definitely not as kid friendly as I thought it would be. So I'm going to give Cruella a 3.5 out of 5, a 70%, guys. It's clearly a fresh review. I did enjoy the film. It's an extremely solid film. Could have been a couple of story things, and the choice of music could have been done a lot better. At times kind of felt like Suicide Squad with the way they used music in the movie. But overall, much better than I thought it would be. So that's my review of Cruella. I did see this in a movie theater. So let me know in the comments section, did you do the same thing, or did you buy the $30 on Disney Plus? Also, guys, another review coming, Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 5 spoiler review, and my non-spoiler review of A Quiet Place Part 2 will be coming on this YouTube channel. So please ring the bell for notifications. That is my review of Cruella.